Chikamasu. Alright, so we're going live, Holy Ones. Yeah. Give me just a few seconds here. Machiwa. Makatas. Let me see if we got this browser hooked up. No browser, so let me connect the browser, okay? Because we'll want to use it a little bit. Here we do. Okay. I think this is it. No, dude, what's up? Wow. Where's it getting that picture from? Sorry, guys. I don't want to... I'm going to be showing some pictures tonight, so I just want to make sure they're set up, but it's not cooperating, or it's showing the small pictures. We'll be showing some of these pictures, and we're going to be talking about these aliens, but let me get this freaking thing in the right browser. I'll just use this one since it's giving me a problem. Alright, so we got that set up. We got my picture set up, and we're going to go live, Machiwa. Alright. Thank you for that that introduction. Leo, greetings, Holy One. Welcome to this live broadcast. Nice to have you, my moderator. We also got Entertainment Hub. What's going on, Vato Loco? How you doing? And we got Hutchins. All right. Greetings to you, brother. And all right, we're doing awesome, man. This is a good start. And this is an exciting live. You know, this is a live broadcast, so we're just chill. You know, kick back. We're going to talk about some badass stuff, but we're also going to do it like just high vibe, chill. Realize that even though some of you are probably coming from a non-spiritual background, realize that this is a spiritual point of view, but we also talk about science and the behind these alien beings, the physics behind the realities and different levels of dimensional realities. And we also have levels of matter form and biology. So while we're carbon, matter, biology, and matter universe, well, in the next matter universe, it's carbon crystal, silicate. So we're part silicate in the next, you would say 50%, half and half, because it's the next phase of matter form. And then up into the next universe, we're going to be like crystal beings. And that's how you explain aliens and Draconians and reptilians and all these different races that we're going to be talking about today. You can't explain aliens and UFOs without explaining dimensions. And so you would say there is not many scientists or physicists who are going to get behind a spiritual point of view. If it's not something they can, you know, measure or see, or well, some of the things they measure they can't see. So this is holistic, both. You're going to get both science and spirituality, because you explain it through both. You can't just explain it from one point of view, Holy Ones. We're talking about a spectrum of options, characteristics, parts. You are made of many parts. And tonight, we're going to talk about over 99 different, like real 99 different alien races. I mean, we have a whole list. We're going to talk about the main ones and just briefly mention some of the not so known ones. I actually haven't counted all these races. Maybe it's not 100, but it's close to 100, I know for sure. And we're also going to be showing some pictures of aliens. It's not like we have a picture of all of them, right? It's not as if I have seen them all myself. You're going off of the Guardian information and the description, but they don't have pictures. So they have descriptions and pictures and facts and numbers about all this systems and DNA that these beings have and the worlds they come from and the agendas they have. Okay, so we're learning about these aliens and extraterrestrials here on Christos Avatar on a regular basis. So if this is something you're interested in, you guys, consider subscribing. So tonight, we're going to be talking about all these different 99 alien different races. Okay, this is something that's part of our reality and many other additional realities not considered by science or religion. So you could go beyond. You understand this cosmology of these extraterrestrials and even metaterrestrials, ultra-terrestrials. You understand that to understand yourself, to understand what human is, to understand what is angel, extraterrestrial, okay, what is aliens, ancient aliens, because there's so many TV, so many programs now on ancient aliens about all these different facts, proof. You don't want to, you don't want to believe in everything that Gaia says or anyone says, but realize that they're a good resource. They're showing you beyond your religion and beyond your science. You see, religion gets uncomfortable with ancient aliens, and science gets uncomfortable talking about aliens, ancient, whatever, or not. So we have no problems, honey. And some of you are aliens. And think of this, if there's aliens, well, let's say this. If there's two French people, there's a French person and an Italian person. Okay, well, if they get married, fall in love, get married, have a baby, well, the baby is not Italian, and it's also not, what did I say? French? I don't know. It doesn't matter, two different people, right? Well, it's a different being, dude. It's a being that has both DNA. It's not just this and just that. Now it's both. And then some of these hybrid ETs that we're going to talk about tonight are many. And whether you're scientists or even biologists, microbiologists, wow, what happened to them? Dang. Well, anyways, all those scientists, they find out some stuff in the DNA. And they better not talk about it, though. So, realize that this is a planet, Earth. Earth itself is a smorgasbord. Is that what they call them? Smorgasbord. A smorgig. What the hell's a smorgig? Smorgasbord. Some long ass, super long board. Earth is a smorgasbord of ETs and genetic experiments and hybrids and of all kinds of varieties and forms. Hey, by example, we're going to talk about the alien grays. There's not just gray ones, honey. There's also orange Zeta. They're called Zeta. That's their actual name. They're not called gray alien. Dang, that's pretty messed up. That's like saying gray human. You would say white human, brown human, or black human, red human, or white human. Wow. Did you know? Those of you who understand what happened in Atlantis and Lemuria, Lemurians were brown skinned. They were the brown skin majority. On the planet, it was the majority of brown skin. And then the Atlantean was the majority red skin. Remember, race is broken down into subraces. And one of Atlantean subraces is Egypt. Why do you think the Egyptians were so advanced? So these are Atlanteans. Remember, Atlanteans were more advanced than us. They weren't using the same technologies. They were using crystal technology, planetary technology. They weren't effing around with freaking carbon fossil fuel BS. Okay? They go straight to what works. The best thing for their society. Not for capitalist, you know, what do you call those? Oligarchs. These oligarchies and these Illuminati, excuse me. Okay, and that goes into tonight's topic. The Illuminati are not human. They're part alien. They're puppets of alien by becoming hybrid with human. So they're part human, like a Dracos. A Dracos is part reptilian and part human. And then you got part Anunnaki, part human. And now you got all kinds of stuff, part human. They like our DNA. They get in our DNA without our permission. So that's where it all starts. People getting abducted, and then you hear talks about aliens and UFOs. You see it in science fiction, but then you hear people talking about it in the real world. You hear people saying, "Oh, I saw an alien. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. You're an idiot." You know, people treat people like that. Nowadays, maybe it's becoming more open, but back then it was really strict. You had to shut up or get ridiculed or worse, right? You talked about aliens, or you talked about spiritual stuff or psychic powers, man. You were considered Satan worshiper. Like literally they would call you that, or you know, Luciferian, and they don't even know what the hell that means. So okay, Matsutas. So let's talk about these beings. Shatashina. There is a structure. So because there's a structure, we'll start from the top. And there is a top. Okay? We're in a reality field made of dimensions in reality. Like multiple bandwidths of frequency. That's what a dimension is. And they're all separate realities. 15 of them, baby. You got different systems saying this and that and that and that. Honey, out of all those, how many chakra? Oh, there's this chakra, there's this chakra. Guardians are telling you for thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. How old is the Mahabharata? This is ancient, beyond your Dead Sea Scrolls. Beyond your little canonized Bible writings, beyond, there's more ancient, more original holy teachings. These are being brought to us in modern times. I am an example of this. The Voyagers books by Ashiana Dean is an example of this. We are these beings coming in to the humans' races drama to assist you during this drama in an event in a time period called ascension of the planet. Planetary ascension is where her chakra are open. We got chakra. You've heard of this, okay? Well, this is the microcosm of this macro, where all these ETs are coming in. These ETs, is there, man? This is way beyond this ideas of do aliens exist? Huh? This is we're not that elementary. You're probably watching this video and you already believe that aliens exist, okay? Okay, now we got that part. Otherwise, why are you watching this video, right? So aliens do exist. We believe that they exist. We're interested in specific races. And we have 3 sources. Let's start with the top 3, baby. When you consider this reality fields. And let's look at it for about 12 seconds so we can talk about it. Yes, Mochichiwa. So maybe someone can count them while I'm showing the diagram, and maybe there's less than 99, but there's surely close to enough. And this is something you have never seen before, man. From the movies, the books, the spiritual systems, you call that spiritual knowledge, understanding, realization. Makaye, mosutas. Omokoye. Chimasu. Oye maka. Sutas. Moya. Spheres within spheres within spheres. A 15-dimensional time matrix. Time matrix. Have you seen The Matrix? There's 5 density universes. I told you we're starting at the top. Who's at the top, honey? God. That's boss man right there. Not a man though. Sorry, that didn't come out right. Boss, that's the boss, okay? Exists beyond the time matrix. Wow, what's that? Well, it's a 15-dimensional system. These other 3 realities are outside of it. But here's the 15-dimensional time matrix. It says 15 dimensions. Makaya. Masutas. Okay, 15 dimensions. And just so you know, before we start, there's many of these 15-dimensional systems. There's countless. Countless. We can't count them. There's countless. That's why. There's countless ones, so you can't count them. This is one of them. This is our time matrix reality system. And we learn about the history and the heritage and all these extraterrestrial beings that exist in these time matrix. In our time matrix, we have a history. We have a heritage. All the way starting from the top, bottom, whatever, the highest level, down into the inner spheres. You got the cat beings. Wow, Anunnaki. But they're not the creators. Someone created the Anunnaki. It is the highest level beings. The Rishi. They're called solar Rishi, suns. This is what you call antimatter thermoplasm. Oh, your scientists only know about carbon matter, huh? Where bodies die. There's mortality and death. You were born into mortality and death. So you think it's normal. Honey, it's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. Only you are dying and have mortality, short lifespans. So, up here it's another story, density 5. This is the highest out of 5, the 5th density. See, they're numbered. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, we're in the lowest level? Yes, we're in the lowest level. And so there the drama begins. But some of these ETs that realize are beyond our system. We're in the 3rd dimension. Well, they're in these dimensions. They're in the 5th dimension. They're in the 6th dimension. They're in higher dimensions. If these are dimensions of reality, they come to you through stargates. You're coming in. They're coming in. Not what you see in Star Trek and Star Wars. They're not using warp speed, honey. They're using star gates. Earth has stargates, and they will lead you to different places. Right now, we have a war between these beings in the higher levels, coming down with stargates, coming to us. We got Pleaidians coming to us through stargates. We got Sirians coming to us through stargates. You guys heard of Sirius A and B? The Dogon we're trying to tell you. the Dogon African tribe of Earth, was telling you about Sirius A and Sirius B. Anyways, so you got the normal Pleaidians, cool people, but then there's there's different kind of beings. Nordics, the Pleaidian Nordics, the blondes. You're gonna find out that Pleaidians makes some pretty lovely blondes, not just the Pleaidian Nordics that some of you are talking about, that some of these UFO abductees or Billy Myers type of people talking about. That he was talking to, this is just a reference point. These are blue flame. Notice the blue. Blue flame created this. This is those three races at the top. Remember, the top bosses, the top dogs, the blue flame, the gold flame, the violet flames, Elohi, Emerald Order, Royal House of Avian. So this is one of the creator races. This is the highest one right here. Not the highest in dimension, but the highest in order of spirit. This is the first one that created these ones. You've heard of Seraphi. Maybe more like Elohim, Seraphim. Elohim, Seraphim, and a race called Brahmarama. Now I say race, but remember these are solar rishi, solar beings. Okay, antimatter. These are three different variety. Blue flame, gold flame, violet flame. And each one of these creators, these are the universal trinity. These are the three creator races. And each one of them created their own races. The blue flame creates the cat race, extraterrestrial. The races are on the bottom, so. The first one, Elohi, blue flame, created the highest level Anunnaki. We'll talk about the Anu in a moment. This is the sister race, Anu. Something happened to Anu, not good. So we're starting from the top, 12D. This is where the three flame races, the creator races, the holy Elohi, Seraphi, and Brahmarama. The dark beings, the fallen Elohi, are called Elohim. The fallen Seraphi are called Seraphim. Oh, isn't that what's written in your Bible? Elohim and Seraphim? Yes, fallen angels. And what is an angel? It's not from a Christian perspective, it's from a cosmic. This is a cosmos. It's a cosmos, honey, outside universes. And if there's more than one, look at that. It's called a multiverse. A multiverse of 5. And the cosmos is outside of that. But archangels and angels are just the middle ground, see? It's just middle level. Angels and archangels, they're not the greatest level, highest level. They're above our 3D. This is where human is dying and reincarnating over and over and over and forgetting, die, grow up, die, forget. Grow up, die, forget. Reincarnate, grow up, die, forget. Reincarnate. Was that fun? Get out of mortality and death. Mashita, ascend. Ascend to some of these better levels of reality. Go back to the angel level. Go back to the what you call liquid light level. This is where your perfect prototype body is. It's called the divine blueprint. At the 12D level, you have what's called a Christ consciousness. And you also have this perfect prototype body. So no matter how much you mess up down here, no matter how much these extraterrestrials mess with your DNA, well, you always will have your divine prototype blueprint. This is your uncorrupted DNA. And you better believe that these Anunnaki, Anu Elohim, that's the forefathers, Anu Elohim, you better believe Anu Elohim, Matsitas, holy dark avatar, or unholy, unholy dark avatar. These are the creators of the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki is not even the highest being. It's the Anu Elohim. This is the being that was the sister race of the blue cat people. These are blue beings, blue flame. There's other blue beings you're going to find out about today, but this started with the Anunnaki. And there's greater races than the Anunnaki, but those were super races that were created after this being was alive. They created greater races by genetic hybridization. So this is, remember, this is all temporal stargates coming down into the lower levels, coming down into the Earth drama. We have a stargate under Giza. That's just one of many, several. We have a stargate in near Sedona. We have a stargate in Russia. We have a stargate in Machu Picchu. We have a stargate in different locations around the world. And each one of these gates are opened. These planetary chakra stargates are opening, and that's when these beings are able to come in. They come here and prepare for this ascension cycle, because you're in the 3D, right? Whether you believe in these higher realities or not, beings are about to finish this reality and go to this one or fall. You have to, well, let's look at that. Machiwa. Here's a current ascension cycle. 2017, we're near that, 2022, and the end of it is 4230 AD. When this ends, you have something called Zeta Gray aliens and the Dracos, which are the dragons. These are actually dragon humans, hybrid. They're going to conquer you. They're going to rule you. When you, in the future, not now. So if you don't spiritually ascend and leave this place, we talk about that here in Christos Avatar, then you're going to go through this hell in the future. You're going to reincarnate, and get to this history and live in hell. So don't stay on this path. You don't want to stay in Earth at this level after you do a bunch of reincarnations and get into this level. OMG. So, Machiwa. This is where these, what's going on. We're in a Stargate opening cycle, and we have a hell of a lot of beings trying to mess with us. Are messing with us, even successfully. So you realize we're here, but there's beings from higher levels coming in, or incarnating into DNA down here, into beings amongst humans on Earth. There's not only human DNA. We have all this DNA information with the Starseeds and the 12 tribes of the human race. In the future, you're going to be called angelic after this huge experiment is going to be completed. This is what is going on with Earth. We're not from Earth. In Earth, we're creating a super race. We're actually recreating what was distorted, broken, destroyed. So this is done in periods of time, starting 25 million years ago with Pleaidians and Hyperboreans. These two races started, they had some Starseed DNA in them, check that out. Plus they started Strand 1, Hyperboreans, or Pleaidians, and then the Hyperboreans finished the top half. And so Strand 1 was complete. Now these Starseeds are going to help the Earthseeds. They started with Lemuria and helped Lemuria 73,000 years ago, brown skin races. They helped them. Remember, this is a race. There's sub-races of Lemuria. There's sub-races of Atlanteans. See, they have 2 strand. Atlanteans will have 3. And us, the Aryans, will have 4. We're supposed to. We're not getting it done. We're only halfway through. Each one is a lifetime. Live. Remember, I just said that a little while ago. Grow up, die, reincarnate. Grow up, die, reincarnate. Grow up, die. See, you're finishing lifetimes, but but we're behind. Something is making us behind. We're not getting our job done. It's kind of like construction that's been put on hold. Nothing is getting completed. But anyways, the future races will do Strand 5. strand 5, the throat chakra, and then the last race in this giant experiment will be doing the third eye, 6th chakra race, the Unchechi. The Unchechi, who are they? Well, they come after you in the future of the second level of Earth. That's way above you in the future. But we show you that in that map. This is the 6th dimension. The third-eyed race, Unchechi. This is the Muvarians. This is us, the Aryans. This is the Atlanteans. In these time periods. And here's different time cycles, because a 26,556 year planetary time cycle will start over and start new life. So there's already recorded a history before this history in the 40,000 BC periods, and now in the 70,000 BC periods. This is where we started this giant ET extraterrestrial experiment. All this different DNA. Building a super race. The Unchechi is a super race. When it gets to 6th strand, it's going to plug in the rest of the Starseed DNA. It will retrieve. It will plug into 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 strand DNA. So this little human, Orion, is going to eventually be this, when it's all of this will be complete. Let me see. Right here. This is a completed extraterrestrial super race called Turnesium. That's our future race, man. 12. We're living in density 2, but we have 12 strands. There's also beings like the Azurites. The Azurites have 48 strands, man. This is the super race living in density 2. Why? Because this is where the freaking drama is coming from. This is where the original Atlantis and Lemuria are from. It got destroyed, and parts of this Tara, parts of this planet fell to Earth. This is a distorted, broken, phantom level of our real origin. This is not normal for beings to be dying, for beings to be cannibalizing each other, eating each other for sustenance. Because why? Because you're cut off from source. Your DNA and the planet is cut off from that energy that you call source. Life force, energy. That's why you have death and dying and this recycling over and over, as some beings are born without their body, or they lose their body and become disembodied consciousness. I didn't mean to say you're born without a body. That didn't make sense. Some of these beings are stuck in the hollow fields, stuck in one-dimension hollow fields. Some are stuck in the two-dimensional fields. Some are stuck in the 3D fields. In humans, it's a what do you call it? A rescue mission. You are coming in and creating bodies, living lives, creating bodies for these disembodied souls. That's a deep conversation for our tonight's topic, but just realize that all these ETs are part of this man. And that's why I showed you the DNA, so now you can understand some of these greater races. And remember, we started with the cat people. And this sister race became dark. This one was practicing law of one. All are God. There's no religions here. There's no Christianity here. There's no Hinduism here. There's no Buddhism here. That's 3D human shit. I don't mean to call it shit. I'm just saying that's not what we're getting here. This is law of one. All are one, love and light beings. And this one was too, but then it fell. It decided to go against law of one, all are one. Fallen angel, fall in your consciousness, fall in your DNA, and they became this, by the way, this is not a cat being, this is a cat aquatic ape. So when it created this race, excuse me, I got a cough. They're a feline aquatic ape in a lower dimension. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And they're in a lower dimension than their creator race. They fell. These beings fell. Well, obviously it was a group of these beings, not all of these beings. But actually the Voyager's information doesn't talk much about the Anu. They only talk about the corrupted Anu. Mostly. It's almost all the information is about the Anunnaki who are going to come from this race. So this is why you have to understand the dimensions to understand these ETs. So these beings fell in their, and literally it's described in the Voyager's material. They cut off genetically, mutated. They cut off their strand. I have my camera on for no reason. But let me say hello while I continue this presentation. This is just the beginning. I'm glad you're here. This is very unusual, hard to find information, and plus it's being presented in a way that's easy to understand. This is a lot of compact, advanced understandings and knowledge into one cool to understand diagram. So let me say hello, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I just got on a roll, and this is very important to learn this stuff. Those who are on a spiritual journey want to know. Let me put the camera back on. What's up, Vato Locos? Leo, Jazzy Jams. Good to see you, Holy One. We got Sunrose. Thank you for being here. I love your name, by the way. Awesome. New. It's good to see new people. Awesome. Well, maybe you're not new. Maybe you just haven't said hello, right? I don't know what that means. Oh, subbed. All right. Thank you, Holy One. Jenny's in the house. Hi, Jenny. Sophia's in the house. I don't know how to do that. You can hop on anytime. I'm here every night, and we have already a large, you would say, collection of videos. Check them out, you guys. If you're new, there's a lot of spiritual information, but it's all interesting because it connects to this ET stuff. And so actually, I'm coming from the spiritual first, and then you learn the ET. What is an extraterrestrial, and what's the difference in a metaterrestrial? Well, those three flame solar beings are the metaterrestrials. They don't have the same body form. They're not in the same. Remember, they're density 5. Scientists of our planet only acknowledged carbon matter universe. They don't acknowledge other physics and realities beyond this. They don't talk about dimensions. Well, now you got some scientists talking about dimensions, like that Asian dude and that black guy. Sorry, I'm not trying to be racist. I am Hispanic. I'm part Spanish, part white. My mom's white, my dad's. Anyways, I'm a hybrid. That's a hybrid. 2 races or more. You check your DNA. That's not possible unless if you have one of these races preserving their race, not mixing at all. You call that racist, but no, it's different race. They want to stay the same bloodline. They don't want. As soon as there's an introduction, remember, you're no longer that race no more. Yeah, what are you talking about? You're a new race that has two more DNA than the parents. I have more DNA than my parents. But what are you talking about? They have DNA that I don't have, half. But I am part their race and part that race. I'm getting code from 2. What? 2 heritages. There's code, DNA, code. Even your geneticists see a 4-letter system, and you think that's normal. We talk about that too. It's not a base 4 system. That's the mutated system. We're naturally supposed to be on a base 12, and not all animals, creatures they didn't all have the same amount. They all had different amounts. varying different amounts. Not in our system, not on our distorted, broken system. It's all 4 base 4 DNA. Wow, how boring, you know, how limiting. Yes, of course, that's why it was done. You've been all jacked. All animals, all living beings, because it's everything on the planet. Because the planet itself has been jacked. The energies have been by these ETs that we're talking about today. Mashutas. Oh yeah, we also got Draco Reptilian. Hey brother, I'm almost getting that video done, but you guys, the reason why that video is taking me a while to finish, the Seraphim Reptilian Gold Flame video, yeah, because I had to make that diagram. That diagram took me 3 days. I mean, I already had most of the diagram, but to add all of the ET races on it, it took a few days, so it took me, you know, it slowed down my video, but it's coming. It's still coming, don't worry. I believe this is going to become big because it's such a what's that called? Where you have a whole bunch of, I forgot the word I was going to use. There's just so much different angles that being covered here that aren't being talked about by, like, I've been to a UFO conference. I've talked to these people, these authors, and I've had photos with George Norrie. I was at his birthday party. I have photos with Linda Moulton Howe. She's a big UFO contemporary. And there's also other people that I have seen personally. Like, I haven't seen Corey Good, but I don't know. I guess I missed his conference when I went, but I saw David Wilcock. I've seen Emery Smith. These guys are talking about cutting edge stuff going on our planet that you're not going to get from religion or science. Oh, wow. Most of the planet is divided amongst religion and science. People into spiritual stuff, into aliens and ETs, those fringe topics, the weirdos, we're a small minority, like literally millions of people. That ain't crap compared to billions. There's no comparison to a few million, like 15, and then 7.7 billion. You know, it's a tiny minority. Psychic powers, light workers, empaths, people developing their identities, their abilities, realizing Indigo Child, Holy One, Starseed, Makaya. I love you guys. Thanks for my regulars for being in the house, representing that chua. Because some of you are ETs, and it's so weird because we feel out of place. It feels weird to be a starseed. It's not always good, comfortable. You know, doesn't feel so. You know, like why did I do this? Why did I come here? You feel like an old soul, and you're ready to go back home. My chiwa. Understand? We're not talking about souls from a religion perspective. You are a being that is. There is time. These beings come through time. Through gates. They don't warp somewhere. They're not using those technologies. They're gating. They're porting. Jumping. You know, there's actually, when you learn this, you saw the system. Well, we don't talk about everything, but between each one is each universe out of the multiverse is a repulsion zone, a magnetic repulsion zone. Nothing can get through there. You have to ascend. You have to use tech or spiritual, like, well, there's spiritual technologies, then there's physical technologies. But everything's spiritual and energy and consciousness. But to get across to most people, that's what I'll say. I'll say that, you know, makochivasi. We're actually composite beings, and many of these ETs are like the human in the future has 12 ETs inside of it. Well, five ETs, starseeds they call them, and 7 root races on Earth seeds. You can probably learn about root races, but we call them what they are. From the Guardians, call them Earth seeds. because seeds means DNA. So you have star coming from another one. You're an alien from one of these other worlds. You're from another star system. That's why we talk about and point to the Pleaidians, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, you know, the Nordics. How there's now also a Pleaidian bird being. And it's this Pleaidian bird being, Pleaidian series. The Pleaidian series became part of the human DNA. This is why the Pleaidian extraterrestrials are nice. They're friendly. Obviously not all the Pleaidians are nice, because there's some ones called Luciferians. Pleaidian, Luciferian, Anunnaki. And we're going to talk about those Anunnaki. Let's continue that, you guys. My chihuahua. I'll catch up on the chat again, and we're going to get lit, so we're more expanded and more able to retrieve. It's kind of like, you know, some people are microdosing on those, you know, if you eat salad and you put mushrooms on it, yeah. Some people are microdosing, yeah, that kind of stuff. And they're going beyond psychonaut, like a psycho, you're using psychedelics to change your DNA. It's not a joke, man. There's something amazing that people can say if you're on a spiritual journey, and you can communicate to some of these beings that we're talking about today. You realize, even if they're not following law of one, they know these psychic technologies. You can still be psychic and not follow law of one and be love and light. You can be dark. You can be a dark empath. Not a light worker, but a dark worker. Okay? Realize that's the thing. Even if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in bad or evil or good beings, well, we're here to what do you call report to you. This is what the Guardians are informing us, that these beings have a wicked, dark agendas. You want to know. That's why there's some spiritual people talking about them. We have to. This is something that we need to be knowledgeable about. The Dracon, what is a Draconian. And you know one thing, as I continue this conversation, many of these topics are hush-hush, covered up, quiet. You don't know all these things. There may be some of these new topics for you. So, let's start with these races. Remember, we start with the three: the blue flame, Elohi; gold flame, Seraphi; violet flame, Brahmarama. These beings, just understand that darkness only goes up to 11th dimension. We can explain that, but this is an ET video. If you want to learn more about the 11th dimensional dark avatars, look at the other videos, okay? Just for the sake of this video, darkness goes only up to the 11th dimension. It'll take a while to explain that, so, you know. Now, so, there is no darkness in 12th dimensional beings, in 12th dimensional reality, or in the 13th dimension or 14th dimensional, 13th dimensional Elohi. There is no dark beings in the 14th dimensional Seraphi, and there's no darkness in the 15th dimensional Brahmarama. Just realize that. So the dark beings, the dark ETs that we're about to talk about, only go up to the 11th dimension. So that's the highest level. And the highest level ones are these Anu cats who fell to the 11th dimension by genetically altering their DNA on purpose. Now, there's spiritual reasons why they did that, not some advancement. That's actually de-evolving. And also, there's a huge side effect to that. What they have done, just imagine you have like double helix, 2-strand DNA, you think? This is what you think you have? Well, you have double helix, 2-strand. These beings are 12. Look at us, we're intelligent with a couple strands of DNA. These beings are in different reality fields, higher matter form, antimatter, hydroplasm. So these beings are 12-strand, not no couple-strand. So they are unimaginable, something called liquid light. So now these are ETs coming, you would say the three flames created beings at that level. That's density 4. That's where all extraterrestrials start. All the aliens start. all the races start in density 4. That means there's a density 3, there's a density 2, and a density 1. We're at the bottom rung. So they kind of have an advantage. And that's why they kind of winning. They have, just so you know, the Guardians tell us that these darkness, the Zeta, the Draconians took over parallel Earth already. They have already taken over parallel, which is more advanced than us. Parallel Earth is more higher frequency, like kind of almost like Tara level. So that's just the physics. Eventually, you will live life in the parallel universe, in the parallel Earth. You will be your doppelganger and switch, and the doppelganger, your other self, will switch to the particle universe. You're switching and they're switching. Your particle and antiparticle double. You know, what people call doppelganger. So just realize that that's another thing you have to explain to understand some of these ETs. We're not just talking about galaxies. Now we're talking about dimensions, and now we're talking about these universes are density levels of matter. Each multiverse, each universe in the multiverse, each level is a different matter form. So some of these ETs are higher matter form. So they're higher dimensional, higher matter form, and so obviously it breaks down and gets less and less and less and less to our level. Just realize that they take stargates, come on down, but as they come down in dimension, their form comes down, but they're still bringing a lot of that code turned on. So out of the 3 founder races, the blue flame, let's talk about the blue flame first, and then go to the gold flame, and then go to the violet flame races. The first creator race is the Elohi. Part of them fell in darkness. They didn't want to serve love and light. All are one. They don't believe all are God. That's the law of one principle. All beings, all guardian angelic nations are following the law of one covenant, law of one creed. This is the spiritual belief, religion, spiritual system, whatever you want to call it. This is the belief that all advanced, highly evolved beings follow. They all believe that all are God. It is these dark beings who do not want to agree with that. They were so serious that they were willing to cripple their DNA to 11 strand. These Anu cat people said F you to the blue flame Elohi and said, we're not going to follow law of one. God allowed us to have free will, and with that free will, we choose to oppose you. So these lovely Anu cat aquatic ape beings said F you to the Emerald Order blue flame and even changed their name to Anu. Not Anu, but Anu, without the Y part. So Anu, Elohim, because they were part once Elohi. Now they're Elohim. And this is exactly the spelling of God in the Bible. Elohim. And we talk about the Bible and it connecting to false creeds. That's a spiritual lesson that's talked about over and over here. So you can learn plenty of that here. This is the ET. Just understand that's out there. Now, this first race, the cat, Anunnaki are cool. The blue cat people, they're cool. The law of one. They're guardian race. Love and light race. We're coming from there. So you'll learn that. We come from them. Now the sister race, the Anu, it's actually a hybrid, right? It's a hybrid from the aquatic ape from Violet Flame. So you have Violet Flame connect with an Anunnaki to create an Anu hybrid. So Anu's the first hybrid. A 12th dimensional hybrid. So you got the lonely Anunnaki all by themselves in the 12th dimension, right? Well, not always, forever in eternity. Other beings ascended are going to those worlds too and creating races too. So I'm just saying from the beginning, it was the cat feline Anunnaki. Now the sister race said F you, became the Anu Elohim, and started declaring war on all guardian races. And got bigger and bigger and bigger. This is the Anu Elohim. We're not talking about Anunnaki yet. Then the Anu Elohim, the fallen Elohi, holy Elohi, blue flame, became the darkness in our systems. That they're not just leaving you alone. They don't just go in peace and be on their own. No. It's an alien. You see an alien. Well, is that being following law of one or not? If it's not following law of one, well, there's got to be neutral races too, right? But this is mostly a wicked. You're either wicked or you're light or neutral. Maybe you don't care. Well, these beings are. If you find out it's an Anunnaki, if you find out if it's a reptilian who's serving the false creeds, then you're in trouble. You understand that they want to do you harm in one way or another. So this is why we talk about them. It's not something you can ignore. And there's history in what they've done. All these other New Age people want to not talk about these dark beings. We talk about them here. So the first race, the Anu, created Anu Elohim, now in the 11th dimension. This being has fallen is now purposely lowered its consciousness and its DNA potential. That's as high as it can go. You can only go up to your DNA. Some being creates you. Well, whatever that being created, much DNA they put in your race, that's your cap. You can't go beyond that cap without DNA regenesis or without being genetically modified. Well, this is possible, and that's what these ETs do. So we do it, the guardian races do it, the dark beings do it, but they also take our DNA and make hybrids. Now we got some of our good races that became dark, that are dark now, half blue flame, half seraphim, or half Elohim, these fallen ones. So we call fallen. So now the Elohim created a race below them. Okay, so we have the Anu fell to Anu Elohim. Now the 11th dimensional created a 10th dimensional race called Jehovani. They're the Jehovian Anunnaki. 11th dimensional beings. And the weird thing is, remember we were talking about aquatic apes, feline aquatic apes. Well, the Anunnaki, the Jehovian Anunnaki are dolphin people. They're hominid dolphin people. So, the highest level Anunnaki are these dolphin hominids. And I do have pictures, so... You can't just... By the way, you can't just find a picture for all of these races, man. Some of these races, people don't... obviously, not everyone is realizing these this 15-dimensional history and zoology. Not most people know this zoology. Xenology, xeno something. Amachiwa. Just to give you a visual, or you could just quickly search dolphin hominid. Bipedal dolphin hominid, or put dolphin people. You'll see a picture on the internet or something. But the whole reason why I had this up, this took me a moment, and to get all these pictures took me a while, to find research and crap. Like I just told you guys, I can't find a freaking picture for all these races. I had to find some illustrations that came close. This is something that came close. And also realize these are liquid light beings. Dark avatars are liquid light. Hydroplasm. So I gotta turn off my camera. And this is a bipedal dolphin hominid. So does the Jehovian Anunnaki look exactly like this? I wouldn't say. It just gives you a rough estimate. There's not going to be pictures of these beings because they're from the 11th dimension. right? So, let me do a different one. Oh, that's the same one, sorry. I just wanted to clean it up. And here is someone else's idea. That's all. I mean, they're not calling it Anunnaki. These people call it whatever they want to call it. You know, that's a silly picture, but you just kind of think of a freaking dolphin hominid, man. And you try to imagine that. Now here's something I found that I'm trying to get the idea of what the hell's an aquatic ape, right? Well, I just saw some ideas, and who knows exactly what the hell these aquatic apes look like, right? But you know they're serving darkness. We know that these beings fell. So now I have to close these as I go. Okay. So that's these beings. Huh. Wait, let me... That's these freaking beings, man. Jehovian Anunnaki, bipedal dolphin people. These feline aquatic apes, the cat, whatever, fell and created Anu Elohim, waged war on the universe, on the 15th dimensional time matrix, and now created dark beings to attack the Guardians. The Anunnaki was designed specifically to attack the Indigo Children. The Indigo Children are coming from Inner Earth. They're coming from, let me see, there's the 12 tribe races, but we got the Inner Earth races. Shambhala, Brahma, Rama, Mua, Yu, and Ur. And we call them bi-starseed because they have more than one starseed in their DNA. Like a Hebrew has two starseeds in its DNA. I haven't put the Hebrew on these documents. I'm not actually done with this diagram. I'll add more races, okay? Just so you know. Check back often. You can find this diagram on my website. So the Jehovians, there's other versions of them in lower densities, but then you just have them coming down and trying to attack us and distort our DNA. And the fact that this is actually the only Anunnaki, true Anunnaki, but there's a hell of a lot of Anunnaki, and we'll talk about the Draconians. The Draconians are next. If you take an Anunnaki with an Omicron, which is a reptile dragon moth, well, you create something unique called Anu. We call the Anu Dracon. It's a hybrid. These are two gangsters, man, that attack us. The Anunnaki and the Draconians. We'll talk about them too. But someone decided to take this gangster and create a third gangster. Now these Anu Dracos, now there's a hell of a lot of hybrids. These are all Anunnaki Draconian hybrids from different planets, different races. But this is basically, you would say there's three factions. The Anu Draco mixture factions. You got the Draconian faction and the Anunnaki faction. Oh yeah, notice Jehovah in there. And we do talk about Jehovah and all that here on Christos Avatar. Check it out. So that was a little bit about the blue flame fallen races, the Elohim fallen races. Continue into lower versions, and there's actually a couple of versions like the Jehovian, the Ophanium, those bipedal dolphin people, the Shri El, which is actually like a dark dolphin, man. Not the bipedal one, but this part of Earth. This is in Earth, and you got the Nephite and the Morantians. That's the Jehovian matrix. The Draconian matrix, we'll look at them on the map here, starting with actually, we'll talk about the Chromatons. They come after the Omicron. We'll explain why they're above them. Basically, what they are is a Dracon mixed with Anu Elohim. So their DNA put them up higher than their creators, man. Their lower creation that became a greater creator by mixing with DNA, but that's because of these beings who did this, you know. But anyways, now you got Omicron is from, if I didn't explain it, the three flames. They created races, right? So the blue flame are on planet. The blue flame started on planet Armentana. Now the gold flame, Seraphi, they start on a planet called Vega. So these Omicrons started on Vega. So did their brother race called Drakonians, Avian Reptilians. They also started, you know, also in the 10th dimension, and so did there's a race called the Avian, the Seraphi race. Notice it's not red, so this is still a good race. They look like praying mantis, between 17 and 19 feet tall, people have said. The Seraphi have also created the bird people. So the Seraphi have created these 5 first races: Omicron, Odedicron, Avian, and Ceres. And there is some, actually, I just realized I didn't put that on this tier. On this tier, you're also going to have some of these positive dinosaurs, positive reptiles, positive. Not all of them are bad. That's the lesson that we're going to talk about at the end of this video. Just because there's some dark reptiles doesn't mean they're all dark. Not all dragons are dark. But we're not talking about the nice ones, really. We really need to talk about the dark ones. And know why and how to protect yourself and all this drama. What's it teaching us? So anyways, the Omicron is like the Anu Elohim forefathers. The Omicron are the forefathers of the Dracon that we are kind of famous. The Draconians. The Omicron aren't Draconian themselves. They created a race called the Draconian, and it's nicknamed Dracon, really. Its real name is Draconian, spelled with a K. Now notice there's a word called Draconian in English language with the C. And realize the definition. But it's the Omicron Draconian who are fallen angelic race who decide to, like the Anu Elohim, they decided, say, screw you to the law of one. No, we're not following that sissy shit. We like to be called Satanists. We're satanic. These are Luciferian. These are Satanists. We explain that in the spiritual talk. Today's the ET talk. So, these are dragon moths. So you think of a Draconian as a reptilian only. No, they're actually part insectoid, part dinosaur, part reptile. And the appearance of this, is called a dragon moth. Basically a dragon with insect wings. This race people channel this race. 9 times out of 10 channels, well actually I might be confusing with the Chromaton, but we'll get to the Chromaton. The Omicron dragon moths ended up creating a race below them called the Draconian. So we don't hear much about the Omicron. Most people in the know, or UFO movement, or into aliens and stuff, they mostly just talk about the Dracos or the Dracon. They don't realize that there's a race that created them called the Omicron. So these dragons are bipedal, upright. Okay? This is a big important race. These are the ones that are effing with us. Actually, they create a hybrid that's effing with us. The Dracos. We'll get to the Dracos. Let me see in the pictures here. Dragons. If you guys have seen Jupiter Rising, or what's that movie called? They look like those creatures. They really do. And this is an Odedicron, though. Let me show the Odedicron, because I see it in my... This is an Odedicron. A gargoyle-looking creature. So if you can imagine a gargoyle, it's like this. This is a reptilian avian. This is a reptilian mixed with bird. Because remember, the Seraphi created bird people too. Well, this is a mixture of reptilian and bird. Like a gargoyle. That's the Odedicrons. Okay? So, we have the, that was these right here. The brother race, I call it. The Avian Reptilians are friends with the Dracon. Friends with the Omicron. These guys are on the same level. They both decide to fall from grace. They fell from the nice, friendly Seraphi and became the dark, fallen, angelic Seraphim. So, now, I didn't show you a picture of that race. Well, you guys seen the movie, you know, let me find it. Well, here's some other illustrations I found online. Something like this. And... well, there's a better picture. Mashiwa. Now, these guys are expert geneticists, and they create a lot of beings too. Here's like a priest caste. Mochiwa. Akacha. This is the Dracon. And yeah, this one doesn't have wings, but they're called Orion winged Dracon. So they do have wings. This one doesn't have a wing, sorry. The Dracon are badass, and there's a density 1 version of it, of them, but I'm talking about the high level. Where's the picture, man? I'm sorry, guys. I have a better picture. I have a lot of pictures. That's why it's hard to find it. And a lot of people know about this race. A lot of people in the UFO, if you listen to those type of speakers or websites or people, they're talking about the dragons. And they are dragons with a dragon-like body, but they're bipedal. They're upright like this. I'm still trying to find the picture, guys. What the hell? It must be in a different folder. Well, if you see that movie, you could probably quickly search it. And I think the actress Mia, is that her name? Mia? She was in it. Mila, whatever. Yeah, well, here, I found it finally. Shit, sorry. This is the front and back. These do have wings. And these guys are not freaking nice. Those creatures in that movie, they were the bitches. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but... well, these guys are actually the bosses, man. And the little human-looking creature would have been subservient to the Dracon. In that movie, it was backwards. This guy was serving the little human guy. Well, no. In reality, this is the boss. This creature is the boss. Well, actually, the Anu Elohim is the boss. Remember the Anu Elohim above them. Let me close some of these. The Anu Elohim are above. Remember, don't forget the... sorry, I'm talking about the Anunnaki. I meant the Omicron. Remember, the Omicron are dragon moths. I don't have any dragon moth pictures, sorry. I should have looked for some dragon moth pictures. But, you would just imagine a dragon with wings, and it's upright, and scary as shit like those moth pictures. Well, let's look online together, guys. Let me connect to the browser real quick. Is that my other window? Yeah. This is my website. It's going to go to Google. And we'll do a search. And you got to go to the image search. I'll put moth people. Go to images. Wait. This is like funny, silly pictures. More like dark. I don't know. That's not dark. Moth people. Mothman. How about Mothman? Mothman. some pretty dark stuff. This is more darker. That's better. And actually, if you go to the artistic sites, if you go to the like art sites, like let me art. Well, here's a famous site, Deviant. I'll put Mothman. Okay, so you get professional artists drawing them. There's not that many. But you can imagine they're pretty freaking scary looking. These beings are scary. They're dark. So, now let's look at some of my other pictures. I mean, let's look at some of these other races. Wait a second. Sorry. Alright, so the Dracon are a big problem, and they created a hybrid with us on our low level, human level. They made a human hybrid with the Dracon called Dracos, and I believe it's on this menu. Dracos, human lizard hominid. So they don't look too realistic as a hominid. I mean, as a hybrid that's passed over as human, but the Anunnaki can make some good looking humans because of the Pleaidians. Like, you go back to the Anunnaki side, they have a dark Pleaidian called, they're actually Luciferian guys. And these are, once again, Anu-Draco hybrids. So it's on this Anu-Draco list. You can find this diagram on my site. The Pleaidian, Luciferian, Anunnaki. And by the way, these beings are on Nibiru. And they're coming to you looking very, very beautiful, lovely. Because the Pleiadian DNA, it looks really close to us. And they start using them with the human DNA. They're going to make some realistic humans. But they're not human. They're Luciferian beings. Then you got beings like the you've heard in Sumerian gods. Well, you got Enki. It's an Anunnaki hybrid Draco. So is Marduk, Anunnaki Draco a hybrid, who themselves create some pretty nasty beings. There's actually a dragon queen, dino insect hominid. Lovely sounding, right? See that name? Satan. Satan. Luciferian came from a race called, where is it? Lulitan, that's it. Lucifer came from this race. There's a Enki Lulitan race, and this is where the name Lucifer comes from. And then the Satan comes from the other being that I just, Marduk, or whatever. I just mentioned the being, sorry. I'm getting confused, but there's different races here that are Anu Draco. Even the vampire. Look at that vampire. It's an ET. Serpent dino humanoid. Aquatic beings. Mermaid beings. Nephilim from the Bible. Men in Black from your TV show. No, this is the real Men in Black. The Chromaton beetle people. Crazy looking creature beings. Trying to look like human. They don't make good humans either, just like the Dracos. But the Pleaidians make very lovely humans. And they're coming from Nibiru. They're coming after your Billy Myers. They're coming after you. Notice we got chupacabras. Okay, these are ETs, but it's more like a human animal slash Nibiru animal. So you got something called a chupacabra dude. It's an experiment between animal species. They're pets and our pets. So, you know, you also got the blue human reptile creatures. I mean, you got all kinds of creatures and hybrids. Okay? I mean, let's just get down to it. It's not a human. It's a part human, but not human. What? So, Machiwa. Is it nice? Do you have to be nice? Are all these beings nice? No. But here's those cat people. Anuhazi Vato Loco, man. The Sphinx on our planet is based on the Leonine. But the Leonine comes from obviously the higher Anuhazi that I just showed you on the picture. So this is what the Avatar movie pictures are looking like. They're looking like this race, the first one. Leonines are based. That's what are basically. You could trace it all the way back to the Anuhazi, the Leonines. The Sphinx is based off of that. And believe it or not, there is some good Anunnaki who helped build the Sphinx, who worship the Leonines at these high-level density 3 Leonines, crystal etheric beings. Okay? Well, this is a lot of stuff. History is coming from higher levels. So we got the Tyrannium future human. This is what all the experiment is about. It's about making this human again. 12 tribes. 12 races. The Tyrannium is this is the here it is. This is the Tyrannium complete, and that's where it is on this map, this time matrix. They're at the density 2. This is density 2, and last one, Bigfoot, Queventilier, Bigfoot. Remember, just realize it's higher than human. Humans over here, okay? This being doesn't die. You don't die in these realities. I mean, you do die, but you don't get age. You don't die with the body. I mean, the body doesn't. These guys. You're in this sucky world, man. We think it's normal to die and suffer and have back pains and bad breath and have to poop and have to eat. It's not normal for immortal beings, dude. They don't have to do any of that shitting and shaving and showering. Sorry. Anyways, what about the rest of the insectoids? We didn't talk about the blue flame or violet flame because these are nice races. There's no bad, naughty. Well, not in the Voyager's information. They don't talk about naughty violet flame races. These are all peaceful races. So the violet flame are cool. It's the Draconians and the blue flames that have a problem. So to finish it up with the Avians and the Dracos, there's a Azrael. You probably heard of Azraels. Or no, this isn't the Azraels yet, Dark Angels. This is the Avian Anu Draco. The Mantis created something, or they have lower insect beings called Zephlium. The Zephlium are the higher levels of those Zeta Greys. The Zeta Grey aliens are coming from density 2. So they're higher than humans. Little Zeta Greys, they're higher than us. Well, this is a lower version of human, though. We have higher humans up here. So we're actually at the same level. But the Azrael is kind of like a hybrid, a bad hybrid of Azurite. Now, this is one of the most powerful races on our... But for some reason, they're in density 2. This high-level being could be way up here if it wants to. Well, actually, we've been told that the Azurites are in all dimensions, but the main race was created in density 2. And they are a feline, avian, mantis, cetacean, pegasi. It's a super race. They're actually described as blue angels. Most of the races from the blue flame are blue. Like, there's the Maharaji, blue human. So, this is our heritage, guys. We have a very powerful... beautiful race, and we come from. If you want to go all the way down to human, you start with the cat race. The cat race creates a density 3 Lyran Sirian Anuhazi. The reason why we became Lyran and Sirian is because of a destruction to our planet. We were forced to go to the Sirius B. So we became Lyran Sirian. We're not only Lyran now. Now we're Lyran Sirian Anuhazi. Well, This is the Lyran, Sirian, Anunnaki. The Sirian whites, they've been called. Peaceful, law of one. These are all law of one, the ones that aren't red. And there's some races that the Lyrans created, the Leonines. And the Leonines created mixtures. You start getting Orion angel, which is an avian, feline avian hominid. This is an angel, one of the first angels that was created, and there was a high-level angel called an emerald Orion. Now it's part cetacean. It's got a little bit of the Inu in it. Now this race went on to create the Maharaji, and it was this DNA that was also used to make, this is also called a blue human. Like you get, like the Hindu gods, like trying to, they're coming from this blue human. So they got some blue flame in them. Blue humans, Maharaji, this word, Maharaji, notice the word Magi. Magi. This is where indigo children are coming from. Maharaji, blue human, indigo children. This race was used to create us, the Tyrannium, the future humans that we will become. Their DNA was used to help make this. So now that explains the blue flame, and some of the Nordics were just some of the things with Pleaidians, but there was bad Nordics, obviously. And some of those Nordics got mixed with the Draco, so you got an Arcturian, a bad Arcturian. There's good Arcturian at density 3. They're high-level Arcturians. The good Arcturians, and the same level as the whale people, dolphin people, etheric bird people, and don't forget mermaids, aqua hominids. Remember, hominids, all hominids come from the blue flame. This race is the seed race. Anunnaki created them. They're the seed race for all these other races. The Lyran Sirians are badass. They're the Sirian whites some of you may have contacted at this high level. So, besides the Omicron, Dracon, and Avian Reptiles, the Mantis, created the Zeta. We talked about the Zeta. And the bird people. The bird people, that's why you got gargoyles, but you also have positive bird people. And some of these Ceres are what become the Pleaidians. Some of the Ceres are an important aspect to our race and to what become human. And this is called actually an angelic human. Obviously, we're not angelic at this carbon matter dying drama that we have here, but we will become it. We will come from this fragmented, broken, DNA to a complete DNA, and that's another story. And that's a 12-strand DNA human, but notice there's higher beings, 24-strand beings. 36-strand beings. Some of these ETs, like these dark beings, could be all the way up to at least 11-strand. Remember, they can go all the way up to 11-strand. They don't have DNA like this. They only have they have less than human DNA. They have, remember, 11-strand. Dark beings have. I don't have a picture of all their broken DNA. I just have the guardian DNA. But, anyways, this has been a you could say an introduction to this information. Sorry, I didn't mean to go to that page. That's the false creeds, and let me put my picture back on, if the camera's still there. Oh, the camera died, so let me switch my battery. Let me go back to the other picture, though. I just want to talk to you guys for a moment. So I gotta switch the battery out. We might even get lit, but we're just been on a roll. I haven't needed to. It's not like you need it. It's always just a boost, a consideration of boosting. After I get this up, I'll let you know. What? Where's the camera, dude? Come on, come on, come on. Oh, I didn't complete the... It should work now. Okay, there. All right, guys. Thanks for coming to my live. We got King Snurgle Gurgleson. What's up, Holy One? That's about it. I thought... That's okay. We have Christ here. Christ. I can't read your last name. It's in jumbled words. Sunrose. Oh, mermaids. Yeah, we just mentioned mermaids. That was those beings in the blue flame races that were... I'm just answering her question. Mermaids would have been something like aqua hominids in density 3. Coming from, you would say starting from density 3. So you would have the positive aqua hominids, density 3. I would have to check real quick where the dark ones are, but obviously there would be dark mermaids too. So... Kochimasu. And every race that you guys may have done research on or learned about is coming from one of the 3 flames. It's a blue flame, or a gold flame, or a violet flame. Now, Ashiana, which is the author of Voyagers, she's talked about the scarlet flame. And there's a few races out of the scarlet flame. We just don't talk about it much. It's mostly a matrix that's fixing their DNA, but... most of the information is based on the 2 troubled races, the blue flame and the gold flame. Not much is bad about the violet flame. Obviously, there's some corruption, like the Great White Brotherhood, and there's been some twisted information about that. Not to mention twisted information about religions and all the stuff that you are following on your planet, our planet now. So, Machiwa. Yeah, the Leonians are density 3 beings, so they like are like able to change. Any density 3 being can change their body. They're not the same matter form. That's etheric. It's called your body's crystal silicate. Scientists understand carbon life. They don't understand more than that, but we know better, right? You realize from a multi-dimensional perspective that they're just barely trying to catch up to in quantum physics, knowing that there's nothing solid. Everything's... This is what these ET's technologies are based off of. They're living beyond your carbon matter limitation. And no, they don't travel like that. They're just using gates. And that's why we have this drama. That's why there's a hell of a lot of ETs have been part of our history, part of our heritage. And that's what we've talked about here tonight. And more. We talk about a lot more. We talk about, we will even explain the Stargates. We talk about the DNA, and we talk about how the reality is how that's happening with reincarnation. What is a spirit? What is a demon? What is an angel? So you're learning more about this nonsense from these belief systems that are the old paradigm. This is a consciousness awakening on the planet. You're learning from different points of view. And I want you to know, I'm making this video and notice the word Anunnaki. There's the word Anunnaki in the title of the video, and because of that, I will be penalized. You will now see when the live is over. When the live is over, they're going to put this notice about Anunnaki. They don't like you talking about the Anunnaki. And most people, talking about the Anunnaki, don't know what the F they're talking about. Sorry. They don't have all this understanding, perspective, point of view, realization. There's a whole body of knowledge behind this. I'm getting some connection problem, guys, sorry. It usually goes away. It just happens every once in a while. Maybe what we're talking about. But this is a huge drama that is affected humans in the past, but is happening now. And according to the most recent information, most of these races, the dragons are winning. They're like competing against the Anunnaki, competing against the beetle people, which are another race, Chromatons. And the Chromaton are just as powerful now because they mixed their DNA with the Anu Elohim, which put them on a higher plateau. So we have three factions that are really the ones that are part of our modern contemporary times. And there's so much going on, guys, and some of you have your experiences. You got these higher centers turned on. So we have, let me check if we have Killendale in the house. Thank you for being here, Holy Ones. Yeah, entertainment. Omicron. And also notice how this word is used in your genetics lately, right? They call it the Omicron whatever. So realize they're putting a stamp on Draco, honey. Draco, dragon. So those are the ones that are basically, you have families. You have red dragons, you have green dragons, you have white dragons. These are families, these are powers. And while the Illuminati are powerful, they're just puppets. And you're going to have three factions of Illuminati, right? You're going to have different puppets for the different factions. Notice the Asian governments are against they call themselves dragons, do they not? If you watch some of this Benjamin Falk or something, he was interviewed by Kerry Cassidy on Project Camelot. He's talked about the dragons, okay? Yakuza. Notice the darkness behind those things. These are dark things, spiritual realities, principalities, extraterrestrial, not from your world. Terrestrial here, and then there's outside your terrestrial. You're thinking in these false paradigms of we call flat Earth or hollow Earth. Honey, those are meant to throw you off. Oh, now you're not looking beyond into other worlds. Because now you're thinking, it's impossible. ETs can't come here. Your scientists have a problem with that. They can't come here. They don't have the fuel. They can't get here because of light speed. It would still take a long time. We know better. If you're learning spiritual awakening or ascension from a teacher or a book or whatever, and they're not talking about stargates, these ETs don't go to warp drive. Maybe some of the primitive races in density 1. Otherwise, you're outside of galactic quarantine. A human or planet Earth is in galactic quarantine. Realize while your science and spiritual religions want to hide Atlantis or say it doesn't exist in Lemuria, this is why, it's part of this whole thing I've been demonstrating. The DNA, the stages. Lemurian was a stage. The reason why most people don't talk about Polaris and Hyperborea is because it was 25 million years ago. It's not so relevant. Atlantis and Lemuria are relevant. And according to the Guardian information, Kauai is part of Lemuria. It didn't fall with Lemuria. England, Wales, those little places right there, that's part of Atlantis. Lots of Atlantis fell, yes, in different phases. Remember, Atlantis once was a continent. Then it became just 3 island nations. And then they destroyed themselves again. It's not fiction. It's not a story. Maybe Atlantis was real. There's a lot of people looking up information about Atlantis. And you're going to see some BS about Atlantis, just like you're going to hear some BS about Anunnaki, people going into the Sumerian gods. It's okay. I love you. You follow your choice. That's your choice. This is information. All these ETs are up in your face, man. They're in your world, in your politics, in your religions. You got all kinds of gargoyles and they're on like churches and stuff, right? Why? Why do you got reptilians, avian reptile creatures? Your symbols are these ETs, Vatos. You're worshiping ETs. Remember, we talk about Jehovah and Anunnaki. What's that all about? Jehovah. They're the darkest avatars. Jehovani, baby. Those D11. Makochewa dimension. Wow, there's other dimensions of reality? Yeah. So you got them pouring in, coming in. Historically, they came through the Giza, you would call it, a transportation device. And they want to get to the inner earth one. So this is beings. Why they got a problem with us? They got a problem with this because we're in their way. Literally, humans at the higher level were designed to be guardians. We're one of the guardians. What do you think the Guardian Alliance is parked out there? You got bad guys, yes. You got evil in the world, yes. But you also have light. I showed you. You have these races. Some of you are coming from those races. Here, look, human, not human only. You're more than human. Meant to be a teacher. Why would a high dimensional being come down? If you took 3rd grade and now you're in 7th grade, why would you go to 3rd grade? Well, let's use the numbers here. 6th grade. Why would a 6th grader go to 3rd grade? Why would a 6th dimensional indigo being go to a freaking carbon matter universe with dangerous consciousness in it, where people are still eating each other, eating creatures and to live, and they're all dying and into distorted values? This is your values, holy ones. This is your sacred writings in your world. We're here to tell you that these are the Dracon, Anunnaki, Chromaton. This is this video about the ET races. There's going to be other videos about how they affected you from 50,000 years ago, how they affected the Egyptians, how they affected the Hindus, how they affected the Celtics, the Druidics, how they affected the Roman Empire, how they affected your modern contemporary times, how they're affecting you now. And I don't know if I'll be talking about what they're doing now. That could be very dangerous. But realize that this is ancient history, and there's a volume of data here, man, coming from the Voyager's information. My teacher, his name is Ashiana Dean, and I'm just speaking a small portion of what's called, you would say, DNA regenesis, a spiritual system that teaches you ascension and awakening. And you're learning about these ETs because you're learning about you learn the macrocosm to learn the microcosm. And you also learn all the bullshit new age spiritual systems. Sorry to say, we're saying it with love and non-judgment. The information itself talks about these false creeds. And I just showed you a list of them. It's in your holy Bible. It's in your holy books. We're not knocking you, making fun of your belief systems. We're law of one. All is one. These highly evolved ETs, those beings, you saw, all those are guardian angelic nations, while you have legions inside of the Guardian Alliance alone. That's the low-level Guardian Alliance. These beings are 10 million different Star League nations. That's 10 different types of races that are part of the Guardian Angelic nations. So yes, there's dark beings. They're, scary looking. Corey Good, if some of you have followed his work, he talked about one of these white wing, like the picture I used on this video. He talked about that being. He met one in person in Inner Earth, or was it Inner Earth, right? Or I don't know if it was Inner Earth. It was one of his portal things. This being was over 15 feet tall, and it was very pissed off at him. And they're using psychic abilities. They don't use, what the hell is this shit? Humans thinking, are living in lower levels. These beings are telepathic and psychic, and you have to use psychic people amongst your, you would say, one of your employees has to be psychic, because you're going to run into ETs where they don't use this. And then would you understand their language if they spoke it? They use a different language. So that's another topic. But that's what this channel is about. But realize all these extraterrestrials are part of this big giant system, the spiritual reality system that was created by these higher beings that goes to this God. Whatever your idea is of God, all of this leads to that. All these beings are part of that great mind, that great consciousness that made we call it a multiverse. You know, the Marvel heroes call it a metaverse. What is a Marvel hero? It's one of you who have this DNA. The scientists they're calling it junk. It's not junk. It's a mystery inside that DNA. You have some Marvel hero powers in that DNA. In this density 1, we're dying. We're shit. We're like small versions of larger versions. Like in this movie Prometheus, this big being. He's tall. They're looking at him. They're kind of frightening. Okay? That's what we're like. Not like that appearance exactly. I'm saying we're big. We're giants. And the Guardians tell us between 9 and 14 feet tall. Inside inner Earth, they would be a little bit shorter. But density 2, they're tall. You're immortal, as you saw in the density matter form. It's exciting. We're working. There's incentive. You have incentive to learn the spiritual path. You are awakening together. It's a group thing. All right? It has to do with energy too. Each one of us is carrying a code. If you're part of the Magi Holy Grail, we call indigo children. It's not a cup for juice or wine. It's a Templar. Templar means template, reference to DNA template. This is all genetics. All these different beings have all different DNA. Different worlds, different creatures, different designs. Gold flame, blue flame, violet flame races. Notice we have bugs and insects. We have reptiles. Creation. Violet flame, gold flame, blue flame creation is happening on our planet. We got little kitties, cats. We got little reptiles and insectoids, little praying mantis. We got these DNA in the creation of the hologram fields. You're going to learn about planetary grid. You're going to learn about this code, holy ones. You're going to reach this Christ consciousness, not from Christianity, not from religion. This is reference to 12th dimensional consciousness. You saw the DNA. You saw the Tyrannium, the angelic human. In the future, it even says future human. You will someday be, not now, because of these freaking Anunnaki and these Draconians. It is them, these malevolent, unholy ETs, who are keeping you in these system, man. Literally, it's called reincarnation. You've heard that before. These beings are stopping you from reincarnating. So you're stuck. And not just stuck, that's bad enough, right? But what was I before? What? It's in my junk DNA. I wish I could read it. Can I read my junk DNA? Not only that, honey, you can put it together. Oh, that being broke down into junk. You get this, and you get this, and take this, and more meds, and more pharmaceuticals. You're doing something to your DNA. They are doing something to your DNA. So, they've been doing it for millions of years. It's not new. They destroyed us in Seeding 1. Seeding 1? Yes, humans were destroyed 25 million years ago. Humans were destroyed 7 million years ago. Now humans are progressing. But will we be destroyed? parallel Earth was taken. They want to take particle Earth. Not because of us. We're in their way. Remember? We're watching the gates. There's wars, military strategies on your planet over these gates. The generals, the admirals, the true powers, and what do they call those? Oligarchs. These powers, my chivas, are not all human. And while you get your ideas from, what's that place? Roswell. Is that your only idea of what an alien is? Is E.T. Phone Home your only idea of what an alien is? You think a gray is the poster of E.T. You saw all those beings. Zeta was just a small little part of those races. So there's more to learn. This is just a diagram. Each race has information on it. Check out my website. Now, give me a little time because I'm creating this page. This ET page is going to fill out. There's some old data I just need to update because I'm coming out with the Seraphi video. This is a notification that I'm coming out with this video probably in the, I hope, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours. It's an awesome video. It's going to talk all about the gold flame races. Not all about them, but it's trying to introduce Seraphi. I'm introducing you what that even means. The Seraphi beings. And now you're going to learn about all the races in more detail. But it's, just so you guys know, if you follow my channel, I'm going to make separate videos for each race. So I'm going to make a video just about Anunnaki, cat people. I'll make a video just about Anunnaki, Jehovah Anunnaki. I'll just make a video about the Chromaton beetle tortoise people. They're called beetle people, but some people describe them as beetle tortoise, kind of like an insect reptile thing. And then videos about all of them. And a lot of mysteries are going to be understood. You're going to learn things about ancient Egypt. You're going to learn some things from this guardian point of view, not a lot of the bullshit that's out there. We didn't even get lit. I don't think it's necessary. It's already 8:30 on my end. So this was a good live, you guys. I'll finish up with you guys. I don't have moderators here, I guess. That's why it's Thunder 444. Sunrose. Yeah, the blue bird people. The blue bird people, Corey Good talks about the avians, the blue avians, and that would be some type of mixture between. That sounds like an Azurite, to be honest, but I believe. Remember, the Azurites are in all dimensions, and they're called blue angels. Maybe it's not an Azurite, but it's some type of. I would think, I haven't studied his stuff deep. I'm just going by someone's account. He's talking about some blue bird. It's got to be some mixture of Seraphi and blue flame. And he's talking about these spheres, the sphere of being alliance. I've seen spheres. I don't know if they're related, but they're small spheres. And I showed you guys on my. There's a portal that opened in my room. You don't see it open, but you see a whole bunch of orbs come out of it. I don't know if it's 1,000 orbs, but it's hundreds of orbs out of nowhere. It's in one of my videos. It's if you go to my channel, you'll find it easy. My orb video. I don't know what the hell that was, man, but it happened 3 times in this room. This room, a portal came through, and there was a shitload of orbs that came out. Whoa. I'm always seeing things in my fields. You know, you raise your chakra, you see more in the fields. No, you guys, I'm here usually every night or every day. So you like what you've heard or some of what you heard, you want to hear more, come back. We talk about all kinds of stuff here. And also, you can find me on Facebook. I'll be finishing up now, you guys, but I am here. Well, actually, there's a lot of you here. I should probably hang out some more. but I usually stick to a schedule. We're a rising star. Rising stars. These star beings are suns, right? They're not something we can relate to. I think we can relate more to the Pleaidians and the Sirians, because we're Lyrans who started living on Sirius B, so we became Lyran Sirians, and remember, they're connected to cat people. And you know, I was raised in Christianity, and I was always tripping out that when I was learning about religions and stuff, other religions like the Egyptian religions, why do these beings have animal heads? It drove me nuts. Well, now you know why. And this being Thoth, Egyptian god Thoth, it's not a god, it's extraterrestrial from Atlantis. This, not only Atlantis, this being, and by the way, he's part of the Blue Flame Emerald Covenant once. We're talking about Egyptian god Thoth. He's not a god, he's an ET Anunnaki. Specifically, one of those mixture, remember those Draco Anunnaki called Enki. He's part of the Enki Anunnaki, which are half insectoids, half Anunnaki. So he was part of the Lulatan family. Thoth is part of the Lulatan family, man. And Lulatan is the Lucifer people, the Lucifer covenant. This is what they call themselves. Luciferianism didn't come from Earth or Christianity, some Earth religion. It's not an Earth religion, by the way. You didn't come from, and neither did Satan. And why is there two names? Because there's two factions. Satan. Why are you saying Satan? Because people realize, or don't, that extraterrestrials are involved with our race and our histories, and they prefer to be not seen, but sort of like the Illuminati, they want to be behind the scenes, in the shadows. And the truth of the matter is, it was the Zeta Greys. The Zeta Greys and the Dracos who contacted the Earth governments, including American government, and they would make treaties. And this is where the Philadelphia experiment comes from. They wanted to try to bargain with us because they need something. They need a portal opened, maybe. So while they're giving you a little bone, here's some teleportation. It was supposed to be invisibility, but thanks. While they're doing that shit, they're setting up this portal. So realize, we didn't talk about parallel Earth, did we? We didn't talk about phantom Earth. Let me just explain to some of you guys, if you're new to this, our reality is bigger than you think. There's something called parallel universe. In physics, there's particle, and there's always antiparticle. These things, this is a literal polarization. When you got fission and fusion, pushing and pulling, and this becomes that, and that demanifests and then manifests, you got particle and antiparticle. You have one universe happening and then flashing off, and then the other one flashes off. Opposing, opposite. It's built to be polarized. So Spirit, God, wanted to experiment it and learn about itself in a polarized hologram system, multi-dimensional reality fields. So now, because of this structure, because of this framework, God is able to forget itself or individualize itself. If you individualize, that means you're forgetting. All is now this. Oh, but you can ascend and go back. Ascend and go back to all. You're aware of all. You know all. They call it omnipresent, omnipotent. You are all. Oh, go back into the hologram. Now you're this. You're experiencing this. God wanted to experience this. And this. And that. And that. And that. All those are a bunch of different that's and thises. A bunch of different identities. But it's just an illusion. It's still God. This is why we say it's all God, all are one. Because it's one having many. God individualized itself. Amachiwa. All of these ETs are reflection of this giant multidimensional system. And you're seeing other versions of itself, of oneself. You look at someone else, you look at an ET, you look at a bug. You know, that's a gold flame bug. There's a mammal, that's a blue flame kitty cat. That's a violet flame dolphin. There's a violet flame whale. And even though it's in our fantasy, up there is a Pegasus, a race of Pegasi. That is a violet flame. A deer, a cow, these are violet flame. Understand that races are coming from the different flames. You are a starseed aligned with blue or gold or violet. You saw the human DNA. Well, there's also Anunnaki DNA. There's also Draco DNA. It's called the Black Sun DNA, 12 strand. You got 11 strand Bel Sun, 9 strand, you got Ruby Sun DNA. Our human sun, our 12 strand DNA, human's DNA, is called Diamond Sun DNA. That's 12. You have double helix, wow. Not wow. This is wow, 12 strand. Well, that's one type of being. Another type of being doubles that. You got 2 stacks. That's a 24 strand. Oh, remember, you're still 2 strand? And there's a 24 strand. And there's also 36 strand and a 48 strand. You're Jesus. Your Jesus was a Christ that came. Christ is a 12th dimensional being. Jesus, Sananda Melchizedek, was a Christ. Some of you are connected to Christ DNA. Not Christ DNA. Christed DNA. You have this, what's called Christed Templar. You have a Templar that is 12 strand. And the reason why it's called Christed is reference to being able to leave this time matrix. You are Christed. You are able to leave. I'm just getting my keyboard. If you're Christed, as soon as you become 12 strand, you can now leave this entire system. You don't have to be in any of these worlds. You don't have to be in any, you don't have to live as an ET. Notice I have, these are all levels of extraterrestrials. These are all ETs. Well, there's something called metaterrestrials. That's what the founder races are. And then the ascended masters are called ultra-terrestrials. But this is the phantom. You have antiparticle. You have particle. And there's an automatically, by default, an antiparticle. It's not strange. It's not weird. The phantom is strange and weird. This is not natural. This is not normal. The parallel is normal. These time matrices are created always with the parallel. You always have a doppelganger. Your planet has a doppelganger. Every planet has a doppelganger. Even Tara. You have other selves on this side and other selves on this side. Oh, you have some lifetime over here? Well, you got some lifetimes over here. This is how you can have 12 DNA strands plus 12 DNA equals 24. This is how you can have one of these 24 strands. This is how, because you have you're a human DNA that's capable of living, existing in the particle, in the particle and the antiparticle. You know this, your spirit having a human experience, you know this. You can have more than 24 strand. Why? How? Well, because of the Ascended Master levels. You can collect more strands of DNA at these levels. And one of these beings, one of these Ascended Masters, he creates, I don't mean to say he, sorry. There is no gender. I don't want to get distracted. There's no gender, but this being, one of these beings creates 12 of these beings. You would say, throughout this density 5, this being is creating 12 in here. Out of those 12, one of these 12 will create 12 avatars. One of these 12 avatars will create 12 oversouls. One of these 12 oversouls will create 12 souls. And one of these souls will create you and 11 others. You're part of a 12 tribe. You start hearing bullshit like the Kabbalah telling you 10 circles, 10 tribes. No. Does that even sound right? What is 12? What is 12? If we're going to follow Kabbalah, and you're going to worship or follow 10, not 12. Not 12. Oh, you're 12. Your Kabbalah is only 12. Okay. Who did we say is 12 strand? The freaking Dracon. The Dracon. Machiwa. 12 strand. You're always existing one level below your consciousness. Their consciousness is here. Their body is in 9th dimension. They're a 10 strand. They can only go, they can't go higher than this. They're stuck. The Dracon can't go higher than 9th dimension. You can't go higher than what your DNA makes you. Just like human is not a 3D being. A human is really a 4th dimensional consciousness. Having a 3-dimensional, just like the freaking, this being is having a consciousness. You're always one dimension, your body, your physical body is always one dimension lower than your spirit, your energy. So when you ascend to the 5th dimension, your consciousness does, not your body. Your body is in one level below the 4. If you ascend from 5D to 6D, well, then your body will be in 5D, and vice versa. You keep going up, keep going up. You're always one, your consciousness is always one high. That's why one of these beings creates 12 of these beings. And all the way down. So you're not this little human. You're one of these beings, man. You're one of these beings projecting all the way down. All of these beings, all of this, all life is one of these beings. You're not, you didn't come from an ape. You didn't come from pond scum from the lowest level. You didn't start at the lowest level. You start from the highest and come and fall down. You fall down, fallen angel. Keep being bad. Keep being naughty. Keep being dark and wicked. You keep falling down. Go down. Keep going. Fall. Look, some of these are getting real far down. The Arcturian Draco, the Nordics, the Azraels, they're going down. Oops, sorry. They're going down into what? What's lower? What happens when you go this far into the atomic level? What happens when you go into the ultra microparticle? What happens? You fall into what's called unconscious oblivion. See all these races going down? Well, you didn't start down. There's no pond scum life source. There's no ape life force source. If anything, an ape, remember the aquatic ape came up from these Anu. Remember, this is an aquatic ape. You didn't have apes on Earth that started everything? What are you talking about? You got apes way up here. Ones that can swim, apparently. So, And a little praying mantis is connected to the Athean, 10th dimensional Athean. A little praying mantis. Your little human praying mantis in 3D, right? You see one in your garden, you see one outside. Well, it's part of the creation process of planet Earth. It's being fed from the blue flame life fields. You're getting life fields from blue flame, gold flame, biflame. This is how it works, and this is how we got all these ETs. They all come from the Ascended Masters. We're all Ascended Masters, and this is the end of this broadcast. I'll be talking more about this stuff here on a regular basis. Please come again, you guys. Please like, please subscribe. Take a look at what I got already out there and some more information on my website. You guys want to reach me, you use Facebook. You like short videos, check out my TikTok. I have all that information below. I have Instagram. And I just had a video on TikTok. It's got like 30,000 views or something. I haven't hit 50K yet, but I'm close. But if you want to binge a bunch of short videos, I have them here on YouTube as well. So thank you guys for coming to my live. There's a lot more where this came from. Yeah, baby. Sutasha. Oh my cool. Did I move the camera? Yeah, I did. It's just behind a little bit. Thank you, Life Monique. Thank you for being here, Holy One. Yeah, I got to that 48 strand. I hope you saw that part. I did talk about the 48 strand. And that was what I was trying to lead to about Jesus. Jesus was a 48 strand. And but realize, you don't come into Earth with that turned on. That's Jesus. That was that being's point of potential to live. If it lived a long, long, long life of lives, it could turn into, you know, at a certain point, you can't stay here if you had that DNA turn on. If you had the DNA turn on, you wouldn't resonate at these fields. You would resonate at the higher fields, and you would just disappear from this field. You'd be transported. You would start vibrating at the new field. If that's why you're not going to have a whole bunch of 7th dimensional beings on Earth. That's a density 3 being. That being cannot have all its DNA turn on. It would have to come and it would be fragmented in their junk DNA. That would be more understood as Earth scientists start to incorporate holistic points of view. Otherwise, they're not going to understand. And also, we talk about how consciousness evolves into multiple consciousness, not like split personalities, but you see all simultaneous, and you exist with the thoughts of 12 beings at once, and that's just one level. There's many levels beyond that. Thank you guys. You're awesome. Please come again. I'm glad there was a nice turnout tonight. Maybe I should talk more about this kind of stuff, right? Not just all that spirit talk. I love you guys. Peace. Chana, yeah. Bakachi, love yourself, love others. Machua, kamatas, ashiwa.